Welcome back. Yes, we're back again. This is a stage 3 beach island loop. I'm gonna put this out by 10 o'clock this morning. I ran this race at about 7. I ran this race at 6:10. I'm doing the editing now. So I'm gonna get it out before y'all have to run this Swift Community Live if they run it today. I don't know if they running it this month. I don't think they ran it last month, but whenever they get back to it. But I know the 1 o'clock guys run. So if any of y'all haven't ran it today, I know a lot of y'all don't run them early. Y'all just kind of get in them. This will give you a chance to see what's going on in the race. This is for the noontime guys. I'm getting this out early enough so y'all can actually see the video, so y'all can get my recon runs. I try to do these recon runs so I can get them out during the day. That means I don't put one out tonight. I would have during another race, but I actually have to hit the road in about an hour and a half after I finish this video. So yeah, I can't really hang around. I want to say this race today is more of an endurance run. It's not a regular run. This is more of an endurance cardio run. It's about I want to say about an 18, 16 mile run in that race, in that area right there. There's not a lot of climbs in it. It's only I think the max climbs out at about 4%, maybe a little less than that. And it's only about a 10-second, 15-second minute climb. They're not hard climbs. But as a big guy, you're gonna really appreciate these runs. You really will. But the sad part about it is we don't have a lot of declines, so you can sit back and rest. But the great thing about as a big guy, the only really heavy climb we have is a gravel climb when you go through what is the Italian spot. But when you go to that little spot right there, there's a little dirt gravel climb, and that's where you have the worst spot you're gonna have in the race as a big guy. Now, with all that being said, let me start off saying thank you to my subscribers, thank you to my people who leave comments, thank you to everybody who like my material. If you like anything about what I do, you see I try to make it look nice, I try to spiff it up. If you like anything, you like the ending, you like the beginning, whatever you like in my material, please leave a like. I'm trying to get 100 likes per video, so that really shows the appreciation, people really liking what I put out there. Also, yeah, I'm at about 282 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 300 by the end of the month, so I'm about 18 to 20 away from that. If you can subscribe and help me get to 300 this month, hey, I'm trying to get to 500 by the end of August, man. So help me out with this. With all that being said, I'm enjoying what's going on, but this is a longer race. I try to speed up a little bit, not making anybody motion sick. And so with that, let's get into this race, and we're off. And as we take off on this one, you can see my heart rate is not bad. I'm sitting, and I didn't get a chance to really stretch. I slept in this morning because I didn't have to get out here super early. And when I went to wake up this morning, I just didn't feel like waking up at 4. So I kind of slept in. If you see sleeping in at 6 o'clock in the morning for me instead of 4:10. I mean 3 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. And so I slept in until about 5:30 this morning, got up, and I got into this race. And it's not, like I said, it's not a hard race. It's just a longer race. It's a long stint race. I'm gonna tell you what, I wasn't proficient in using my power-ups, and you can see that at the end. There are a couple of guys, I've never raced this time slot at 6:10 in the morning, so I raced a couple of guys I didn't have no clue who they were, and I have no idea how they race. During this race, there was a couple of things that hit me different on this one. Is that because I didn't know what the race was, I was expecting a couple of hills like we did last week, but there was no such thing as the hills. This thing was this is a 25.8 kilometer ride. So roughly, I try to do the math in my head, it's about 18 miles, if I'm correct, 17 miles. This is not a fast race. This is more, like I say, this is more of an endurance race. You're not gonna really, you can lead people. Now, for us big guys, at the end of this race, you will see what I did at the end of this race. And if I would have timed this thing a little bit differently, this would have been a lot different race for me. I would have had different results at the end. What can I say? I can let you know that as a big guy, the end of the race, because it's a flat and it's almost a negative flat, but it's a flat, our power will come into play. It will. If you use it just right, it will. Also, if you're racing today and you're in D, this goes for Roland Howard. If you're racing today in D, man, and you see this before you race, the last 1,000 meters, man, put your power in. This is for you, man. This is for you. This is for Ryan Condon. This is for Norwegian Watts. Y'all bigger guys, y'all put power in. Save it to the last 1.1, 1.2 meters, kilometers left. Actually, you can save it to 1 kilometer left. Right there, put your power in. Right after you come out that climb, you're gonna hit just a slight decline for a bigger guy. If you put your power in right there, you will almost guaranteed to come out podium on this thing. Because what it does, the game calculates our power differently on flats, and it'll calculate your power just right. So for y'all see these videos, I know Ryan cutting the season sometimes. I'm telling you, man, especially in D, if you can hit it right there, ride with everybody to the end. Just coast, keep your heart rate down and ride with them to the end. But when you get to the end, that last kilometer, when it switches over to the meters, right there, put your power in as much as you can and hold on to the end of the race. And I guarantee you're gonna have some nice results. You're gonna be tired as hell, but you're gonna have some nice results. Right here, as you can see, we're coming around on this one, and I think we end up getting Ghost and Draft. And I'm gonna tell you what, Martin and Stefan in this race on the second lap used a Ghost. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm just being honest. You caught me by surprise, Martin. Martin and Stefan, man, y'all caught me by surprise. Y'all really did. I was doing the math in my head. Man, hey, I'm just gonna tell you, man, I gotta give it to you, man. Credit to you. You did a great job in using your power just right. In fact, what y'all did is I'm gonna attempt in the next time. When I get back from out of town, I'm gonna attempt that. That's gonna be on my mind all week long, man. For the next 3 days at least. That way y'all use that power is gonna be on my head or hold. In fact, if I didn't have to leave out of here now, I would have ran this race one more time using the strategy that y'all use. And I'm gonna point it out to y'all at the end of this race. Also, like I say, this is one of the climbs, and you come over there and you come down. The one thing about the declines on here, they're very, very efficient. They're long, and then when you do hit an incline, if you look at my map over there, the big orange thing you see on the map is me. That's how they indicate where I'm at. But if you can look at the map, you can see the drops. And you can see on the gravel right here, there's not a lot. Now, gravel used to bother me, but I've learned how to power into the gravel, and it doesn't affect me as much no more. But as you can see, we're coming through here, and we got 16 meters, we got 16 kilometers left. And this race, I just gotta admit, it's not a hard race. My heart rate, I'm not really pushing it. My heart rate is pretty much down. I think the only time it went up was 148. So you're not gonna push yourself super hard on this race. Like I said, it's about a 40. For D's, this is gonna be about a 42-minute race. For the number ones, I figure between 41 and 43 minutes for the number one spot, especially at the 1 o'clock hour time. We do run a little behind, but for C's, this is a 38 to 41 minute ride. And like I say, this ride is not a hard. It's just that if you can stay cool and you can stay calm, you're not. Look at my weight balance. I'm not pushing nothing. And we get ready to go up on a climb. This is the only climb you're gonna hit. Now, this will give you a preview. This climb is the last climb you're gonna have on that second lap. And so when you hit this climb right here, where you need to put your power in is right here. It's gonna dip just before you hit it. And you see my percentage right here is where you put your power in. Look at me. I put my power in to climb this thing, and I just want to stay right here. Now, when you come over this, you have a little bit more climbing, but that's about it. That's it. In fact, you go to a negative flat, and then we got one more little edge right in here, and we're coming around to the end of this race. This is where we're coming around to the back end of this race, and for the guys who ride this a lot, you're gonna really, really understand what I'm saying. Once you ride it, there's not a lot on this race. Now, once we make that turn, it's flat. For Ryan Condon and the rest of the heavy guys, before we make that turn, you gotta put your power in. You really do. You gotta put your power in because you don't have that much left, the distance left to do it. And our power will count, but you need a little time for it to kick in on the game. So you gotta put in just a little bit. That's what my math problems came in a little bit for me on this race. As we come around, we're on the second lap now. And that's another thing I didn't realize. I didn't realize how many laps that we had on here. I thought it was one long one like we did last week. It was one 11-mile ride, which is one continuous ride. This week, it's not that. It's 2 laps. And they're very efficient laps. This right here is one of the tallest climbs we have. You've seen this. This thing number like 3.5% at the highest point. And then we turn and we go down here. Like I said, there's a lot of declines in this, descents in this race. And I appreciate them. And then when you do hit a descent, you come into a flat pretty quick. And then when you hit the flat right here, I hit the flat. And a lot of this, I wasn't trying. If you notice, I try to back off. Because if you look at my draft, I get great draft numbers. Look at my heart rate. I get great draft numbers off this race. So, and another thing, it's no sense in pushing the pack. I could have pushed the speed up a little bit and tried to push, but I didn't think it was really that concerning to push the pack. I think that if you can keep the pack rolling with D class, you can keep the pack rolling about 38, 37, 38 kilometers, 39 kilometers, even 40. But 38, 37 kilometers in that, you should be fine. You should have enough energy left at the end to push off on the end of this race. But for me, I didn't think there was a need to push hard on here, especially like right here. We coming around on this one. I did put a little power in because my toothpick was kind of from racing all weekend. So I wanted to kind of relax for a second. And I just put a little power in so I can make them catch up to me. That's the only time you do it. And if you're a big guy, put it in on the downhill and then just kind of relax slightly on the flats, and you'll feel better. I'm really getting excited. I'm thinking it's gonna be around August, September when I do get a Zwift ride. I'm scared I'm gonna break it because of my weight, but I'm hoping not. And like I say, I've said in another video, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to getting. But as you see, I let them catch back up to me, and I kind of ride with the group. And you look at my pedals, I'm doing about 64, 65. I'm not pushing myself. I'm preparing for us to go into this one last spot right now. This is the only spot where I tell anybody, if you're racing like me or somebody, a bigger guy, right in here, once we go under this bridge, this is I call it Little Italy. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember the name of it. But right in here, this is the only essential climb that really will bother bigger guy because it's a gravel climb. And so you gotta look at my wattage, and you gotta put it in and stay right here with the group. Do not get left behind right here. Yes, there's 7 kilometers left in this thing, but do not get left behind too far right here because it'll get a little harder to catch up. Now, the one graceful thing about this is once we come out of here, there is a decline again, which allows us to kind of roll. You see me slowly rolling back into it. My heart rate is ticking back down, and I'm slowly rolling back into this race. And that's why I want to get back into that front group. Am I nervous about riding with that many people in front? Yes, I am. I'm going to be honest with you, I really am. But I know if you look at the heart rate, this is why I tell people to get the sauce. Look at the heart rates of people around me. They're 177, 166. Look at my 149. For a big guy, that's about where they at when they get to 167, 170. They are starting to push themselves. They really are. So I know that in my head. The ones I worry about are the ones when we're doing this and I'm at 149 and you see everybody else is 170, 166, 167, 170, but they're sitting at 150. Those are the ones to worry about. Those are the ones 159 sitting in there. You'll see Martin in here soon. And Stephen, they doing pretty good like this. And so we're coming around on here. And we have 5 kilometers left. And I'm looking at the map, and like I said, we're coming back down. You remember I told you, it's a long descent. It's only like a -5 or 6%, but I think it's -8 right here. But it's worth just kind of letting the game do. Look at me, my wattage I'm saving. I'm only putting out 200 watts, 260 watts. Y'all know where I sit at. And I'm gaining draft of 200, 300. And I'm just gaining that draft. I'm constantly, I think I got an average on the draft. I don't know if it got it over there. My average is 124, 123 on the draft. I'm just constantly letting them pull me along. Let them pull you. Let them work for you as a bigger guy. Let them do all the work. For the smaller guys who watch my stuff, BB, I ain't got to say nothing to you. I know you always do this kind of thing, man. You do it to me all the time. But yes, you can see me even standing up because I'll get a little something. This is a longer ride. Now, here's where the strategy of the race comes in. So we're gonna go down in this decline right here, and we got 3 kilometers left, and on this bottom half right here is about 1 kilometer. It's about 1.5 kilometers. I want to say, because once we come out of here, we're gonna hit this climb. We're not gonna have much left, and so as you see, we come across the bottom, and it's the negative. It's mostly negative. So I can find now the guy in front is Ron, is Juwan. That's one up front, and you see me, I'm number 2. One wasn't the one I was worried about. We on a negative flat, so I'm just kind of moving forward anyway. I kind of picked up the speed of the pace for the group because I knew the hill was coming up, and I knew I needed to hit that pretty hard. I'm gonna tell you what. Martin and Stephen, Martin and Stephen pulled out one of the deal was bank heist. Martin got away with it. This was a bank heist. Martin, you got away with it, man. Man, I can't say nothing. This is why I do the recon runs. You see, I'm doing the math in my head right now when to take off. We got 1.3 kilometers left. I hit right here, and I'm like, okay, cool. You see me pull out the front. Now watch my number up top. I'm number 3, and I'm like, where Martin them at? You see right there? I was like, they used the ghost right there. And so now I should have took off at a kilometer. That's why I told y'all to take off at a kilometer, man. Take off at a kilometer. Even though you're doing the climb, when you come out of that climb, you're gonna have so much power coming out of it. Look at me, I'm number 12. But I put my power in, so when we hit the negative, look how I'm starting to walk everybody back down. Look how I'm walking them back down. Because I powered in on that hill, that when we came over the hill, even though it wasn't that big of a negative, I had enough power to get over. Now, I slacked up at the very end, and I let Y come around me. Oh man, you got a good move there. But man, thank y'all for watching my videos. Thank y'all for being there for me. If you had a chance to watch any of my videos, any other videos, please watch, like, and subscribe. And with that, ride on.